The topics of today's video are sensitive and not suitable for children. The opinions of my guest Amy are her lived experiences. Topics mentioned in the video include grape, mental health, substance, issues and SW, and do not reflect my personal opinion or beliefs. This is not a condemnation or promotion of this lifestyle. My goal here is to simply give Amy a voice. Please keep the comment section respectful.
How long have you been doing Papakatsu?
Basically, since I arrived to Japan. And the reason is, I've always known about, the hostess culture, right? And I even, interviewed to be a part of a hostess club in Roppongi, but they wouldn't accept me due to my visa, obviously. So I was kind of looking for, more kind of underground ways to make money. And in Japan, I don't know, if you hang out around Kabukicho and all that, a lot of those girls are doing Papakatsu for a lot of different reasons.
Can you explain what a lot of people probably don't even know what Papakatsu is?
Yeah, so Papakatsu is basically having a sugar daddy, and in Japan I think for whatever reason, it's really popular and easy. There's all these apps you can get on. All you need is a Japanese phone number and ID, and they accept all nationalities. Obviously, it's better to speak Japanese. I wouldn't recommend getting into it unless you speak Japanese. But the whole reason I joined is just because I knew, my first job here was an English teacher, and I knew since I like to go out and party and travel and make the most of life, that salary's not going to do it, right?
Yeah.
So that's the whole reason I started.
Okay. I have a couple of questions from my followers. I asked them, I told them
Yeah, I
was
saw
going
in
to
your
interview.
story. I'm sorry.
So I'm going to ask you some of the questions that they had for you.
All right.
What is your typical day like?
Typical day, so usually my cat here will wake me up for food, anywhere between, I don't know, 5 to 9. And I'll kind of, skim through my messages, right? And, whenever I wake up, I'll send, the message confirming, the meeting, basically, 今日はよろしくお願いします and, just make sure, everyone remembers to meet. And then also, I'll send a reminder for everyone that I'm meeting the next day, too, so that I'll say, 明日はよろしくお願いします just in case they cancel last minute or they ghost me, I can kind of predict it, right? So I don't waste a lot of time. So yeah, basically I wake up, I work out, and then basically anywhere between the hours of 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. I get messages from the apps, and sometimes it's just a quick coffee date for 1万 yen. And sometimes they ask to go to a hotel, and some of them are really trying to lowball you. They want to go for they call it ichigo, and that's slang for 1.5 man. That's 15,000. I mean
Is that for sex?
Yeah, they try to get it. I don't accept that, but some girls will. You know what I mean? If they really the reason behind Papakatsu and Kabukicho is a lot of girls are addicted to host clubs. And they do sometimes, if a girl really wants to meet her host, I think it's 1man per hour. So sometimes some girls will do it for that low. But for example, it's called paters, or it's spelled paters in English. Usually the price you can ask for 30,000 to 50,000 yen. And you kind of negotiate with them, usually. The main things to negotiate are what are your NGs, your off limit things, and also are you using protection or not? I always recommend using protection because some people here just aren't educated on the dangers of STDs.
STDs are pretty high in Japan.
Yeah, and it's sad, and some people just think they're immune to it too.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of videos, and it's scary, right? So yeah, so usually I'll have between 1 to 4 meetings per day, but it's random because I use mostly Japanese apps, but there's also a few for foreigners that are traveling here too, and that's more like escorting, and so they'll usually pay a lot more because you're tour guiding them, and then basically you're doing a hotel date, right? and sometimes you have a dinner date too. So like, yeah, unfortunately I never really have like a stable schedule, but when I'm not working, like usually I'm planning trips and I'm working out and I'm planning cafe dates with all my girls. And one reason like I've been doing this for so long is I've just been single for a while, and I don't know if it's because I'm like picky and I'm also kind of like on the spectrum. Like I've really wanted a boyfriend, but it's just never worked out. But basically I've been living my dream life, even though it's hard sometimes, it's exhausting. It's fun.
How much money do you make on average?
God, I would say like in USD, if I like have a really, really good month, maybe 5,000, but it could be more, you know, because like sometimes, occasionally you'll get people that book you for overnight and you can usually ask for almost 1,000, but I don't get those
5,000?
so often.
I know like some people might think 5,000 seems very low because in America like the salary is pretty high, but 5,000 a month is more than what like a salary man would make.
Right.
They make around $2,000 a month, 2,500.
Right. And also like, you know, my rent is like, this is just over $1,000 and I can usually pay that off in a week. It's like kind of robotic when I'm responding to stuff. Because like a lot of Japanese guys will be like, "Joken oshiete kudasai." And then, you know, you can say whatever, however much money, if you want to ask for like a crazy amount of money, you can, and you can see what happens. So it's like gambling. It's really addictive.
So what's like Papakatsu, how is it different from like other forms of dating? Because I have some friends who date Japanese guys and the Japanese guys will buy them gifts like on the first date or like take them to nice places. So I don't really see like a huge difference. I mean, even some Japanese guys will give like an allowance to their girlfriends. And they don't consider that Papakatsu.
Oh, really?
So like what are like the biggest differences? Is it just like the label?
Yeah, I think it's just the label. Yeah, because usually for dates you get like ichiman yen, and they'll occasionally buy me like chocolates and like stuff from my wish list too. So like, yeah, I guess I didn't know like that's common in regular dating. I haven't done that much regular dating here, to be honest, but I think it's just the label, like you said.
And like usually the really rich dudes want to date like the younger girls. So
exactly.
They're willing to like give them anything that they want.
Yep.
Is being a sugar baby legal in Japan?
Here's the thing, like, I was actually taught by someone on the app that if you use the label, like, otona kanke, that's, like, two adults consenting to a relationship, then basically it kind of negates the prostitution law. So, like, I don't know, so many people are on these apps. You can go on the app store. If you type in Papakatsu, you'll just see all these apps. And as far as I know, like, when you're talking about sex, you use the word otona kanke, and that means you're consenting, and then the money and all, whatever you receive or whatever you get, if you get something, if you don't get something, it's kanke nai, like it really doesn't matter.
What's the typical expectation of a arrangement?
Yeah, so like some guys want just to meet you for coffee and just talk to make sure like there's chemistry, and you know, like a lot of the times, like if I'm meeting Japanese guys, I'm the first foreigner they're meeting, and of course, like, they're a little, like, nervous. And my Japanese, like, I have a Japanese degree, but, like, I've forgotten a lot of kanji, so I know, like, conversational Japanese. And, like, yeah, usually it's good enough. Like, sometimes we'll get into subjects, I don't know. But, like, I don't know, like, usually the ones that want to date foreigners, like, they're down for the adventure, right? Like, yeah, usually first date, we'll meet, like, for coffee or go to sushi somewhere in like Shinjuku or Shibuya or Ikebukuro. Even though I have social anxiety and I'm on the spectrum, I'm just good at yapping because I love Japan. But then yeah, sometimes if they like you right after that, you go to the hotel, and then I would usually ask for like 3만 or 4만 yen, and then they'll just give you that extra. And for the hotel dates, usually it's like 1 to 2 hours, depending on how many times they want to go. Because, like, some guys, like, some Japanese guys, they're like, yeah, like, 2回 style, like, I want to do it twice. But then, you know, we go and do it, and they can only do it once. And, but, yeah, like, once you start doing it, you just notice, especially with Japanese guys, it kind of is, like, rhythmic. Like, it's easy to kind of lead the way, even if they're shy. And, like, sometimes some of those guys like leading the way. And, like, yeah, like, I'm a pretty, like, horny person, so And I love money too, so like it just goes together.
How do you ensure your safety in this kind of relationship?
Oh, that's a really good question. So like I've been taking boxing lessons at this gym called B Monster in Shinjuku, and they also have other locations. But like for the most part, like my main concern is like I get paid and they don't try to lowball me, and like I always ask for the money.
Afraid?
No, like I only had one bad experience where like a guy he was super super drunk. He was like drinking a whiskey highball and or like a big bottle of whiskey, and he told me like like we were already consented to sex and he had paid me, right? But like he told me like he wished he could me or something, and that was really weird, right? But like he didn't do it, you know what I mean? It was just some weird fantasy. That's like the scariest thing that I've ever had happen to me. But yeah, I guess like they usually have phones in the room, and like I don't know, like I just recommend speaking in Japanese, being clear, like, you know, if someone does something that makes you uncomfortable, definitely say like dame or raise your voice. And like I don't know if it got to the point where I had to like defend myself. I feel like I could handle it, but it hasn't, surprisingly, like in my like almost 10 years of doing it, it's never gotten to that point.
Are you planning to do this long term?
I think so, yeah, like when I traveled to New Zealand, and like I randomly met this woman who, you know how in New Zealand and Australia, like in certain areas, like brothels are legal, and like they were telling me there are women that do it like up into their 50s, and especially if you have like long-term clients that meet you every month, you could definitely do this if you start like in your 20s or 30s and you keep doing it repetitively. Yeah, I feel like till 50 or whenever I get into a serious relationship or marriage, you know, I'll think about quitting. But
has it changed your perspective on relationships with men?
yeah, well, it makes me think a lot of people just get bored with their partners and they want to try something new, they want an experience, and that actually, like, even though it's controversial, like hooking up and then going back, you know what I mean, that actually helps their marriage, even though it's bad, right? But I realized just like a lot of people do it, I don't know, a lot of guys go into it for different reasons. Like they book a girl through escorting, or they do papakatsu, either because like they're lonely and they want your company, or you know what I mean, you're helping them, even though it sounds like it's a dirty thing. Like I really feel like I brighten people's lives, and it makes me like a little bit distrustful of people like cheating. But again, that's like a controversial subject, because like I feel like in Japan, seeing an escort or like going to Subland or doing papakatsu, that might not be, it just depends on your boundaries.
Do you have like a sugar baby persona, or are you yourself?
Oh, that's a good question. So like Japanese guys like kind of innocent, quiet, naive girls, right? But like sometimes, you know, I try to be like shy and like cutesy at first, but like when I drink, you know, like I kind of get, my real personality comes out, right? So if we're going on like an isekai date, and like say like they really really like me, and we're like, I don't know, like 4 drinks in or so 5 drinks in, obviously both of our personalities are gonna, like real personalities, I feel like, are gonna slip out. So like, and we're drinking like that, I feel like I'm not gonna lie, you know what I mean? If they already like me enough where we're drinking like this and it's going well, there's no need to really hide it.
What is the most extravagant gift you've ever received?
Oh, that's such a good question. Probably like trips abroad. Like I went to the Netherlands with one of my sugar daddies, and he paid basically everything for a week. I'm trying to think, like gift wise, a lot of like Chanel perfumes, a lot of chocolates. I mean, those aren't worth that much, but oh, the weirdest thing, one time I had a guy, like, he thought we were really dating, even though we met on a Papakatsu website, and I was just, like, young and too dumb and naive, like, to really kind of, like, set boundaries there. He gave me, like, a key to his house. He's just like, oh, just in case anything happens to me, you know what I mean? And I thought it was weird, but, like, I was just, like, so locked in, like, I was making a lot of money and meeting a lot of people, and I just turned the key into the police, you know, like I was just like, yeah, I found this, you know, because like I didn't want to hurt his feelings by any means, but eventually I broke that off. But yeah, I would say like the most expensive thing I get is like trips, and like since I love traveling, that's what means the most for me.
Have you
So.
had like long term?
My memory is so bad because I've been doing it for 10 years, but I have this sugar daddy who I've been meeting for like 6 years, and like usually around the time of my birthday he'll take me to super fancy dinners at Hotel New Atani and like some of the newer ones in Kabukicho, and he'll give me like, I don't know, like over 500 on my birthday. And you know, like our date or whatever, it only lasts like an hour and a half, and we're mostly like drinking, you know, and chatting, and we're not that sexual. He's probably my best one because he'll take me on onsen trips. Like we just started going last year, but he's taken me to some really nice hotels like in Kyoto, and like I'm on my phone a lot and he's on his phone a lot, so we're actually like a really good match.
Has it affected you at all? Like,
oh yeah, definitely. So like I'm a positive person, and mostly like I try to be positive around my friends, but like it's definitely like made me feel numb sometimes, because sometimes like,
wait, hold on. You said you drink with these guys.
Yeah.
So like you're drinking alcohol every day.
it depends. Like some of them don't drink. Some of my clients, it's really random, like half and half, because sometimes they just want to go to a hotel and then they'll be like, oh, let's have a drink after. I would say now, when I was like, I moved to Japan when I was 21, right? So then I was always trying to get drinks. So I used to be drinking like almost every day for the last like 7 years. And like now that I'm getting older, like I hate the hangovers. So I'd say I drink maybe 3 to 4 times a week, but sometimes it's just like a little glass of wine.
Has it affected you like emotionally?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like this is like the craziest thing. Like I'm really picky about who I date, and sometimes I'm jealous of them because like these guys, you know, they can just go on an app and like fuck anyone, right? But like for me, like it takes more of an emotional connection and all that. So I'm actually like envious of them sometimes, because I'm like, oh, I wish I could just like, because I like having sex, but like for me to like really be attracted to someone and like fully orgasm and all that, I have to have like some kind of emotional connection. But sometimes like it can be a little bit degrading, and they'll ask you to do things like you don't want to do, and they, you know, like some of them, for example, like I don't want to go into too much detail, you can edit this out, but they ask for like in your mouth, and like I hate that. They're being demanding, and I mean they are paying for a service, you know, but sometimes it's just so like, if I'm meeting like 3 or 4 people, I just feel so drained, and then when I come home I wish I had someone, you know, like a real relationship, someone to like hug or hold, and like sometimes I cry, you know, just because like I really like doing this, and I realize like sometimes it's given me like basically my dream life, but like I haven't had like a really deep long-term relationship, but that's made me like really numb sometimes, and like I did have like some issues with substance abuse, but I'm really lucky because I have the best friends like in the world, and like I feel like I'm happy I did this because, you know, I'm learning, and like even though it's sad, like I have this wonderful apartment, I can host friends, and I have my beautiful cat here, so I feel like, yeah, it definitely makes me depressed sometimes, but there's other times where I just feel so empowered because they're so happy that they met me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that rubs off on me, right? So it can go both ways.
If you can go back in time to your 21-year-old self, would you do this again?
Absolutely.
I still get messages on Instagram from like young girls like telling me like, I want to get into like being a sugar baby, how do I do that, or how can I become a hostess? And I don't want to give them advice on how to do things, because I feel like once you do something like that, you can't really go back from it.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know if someone is like prepared.
Yeah, and those people are young and they're very impressionable, right? And you don't want to ruin their Japan image or experience or make them think
So
a certain
do you have
way.
any like advice or precautions?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, first of all, like, speak conversational Japanese, like, at least get to N2, and then, like, when you make a profile, just let guys message you and tell them you just want to do dinner dates, like, you'll think about the rest, right? So if you're new to it, just do dinner dates, just do coffee drink, like, dates, like, ask for, like, 5,000 yen to, like, you know, like, 10,000 yen, and just do that, get used to talking to them, like, face to face, and, like, get to know them a bit, like ask whatever questions you want. I would say like just do dinner dates, like, and also there are day cafes. Have you heard about like Kirari and Momo? So there are these like day cafes where like basically you show your ID and like you know, they want like girls like 18 to like I don't know, like mid 30s, like young girls, right? And like you kind of sit at the cafe on one side and the guys sit on the other, and the guys will like kind of pick a girl that they're interested in, and then you go to like a booth and kind of like negotiate what you want to do. If you want to do like karaoke for this much money, or if you want to go to a hotel for this much money. That works really well for young girl. Like if you're like, you know, like 18 to like 25, I feel like I didn't do that so much, but there was actually like a whole group of foreign girls that did that in the early 2000s, and they made like a lot of money on that. Like now obviously there's a lot of foreigners in Japan, so I don't know how much those cafes would be paying, but whenever I've gone in, there's basically like no foreign girls. It's all Japanese girls. So if you get lucky, you might be able to meet someone that pays, but definitely if you do that, you really have to like know a lot of Japanese. But yeah, the main thing, I would just do like dinner dates, and like just learn to set boundaries. And
do you have like a dream job? Like if you can do anything besides this?
Yeah, I think I want to be like a travel advisor, like because like I've been to over 30 countries, and I realized like a lot of people come to Japan and fall in love with it. I want to inspire people to just like travel, you know, like go out there, have fun.
Do you have a dream?
One day I want to get married. I know that's really like cliched, but I guess I want to help my friends and spend time with my cat here.
Have you struggled with your mental health at all?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
like,
do you think that it's affected by the job? I mean, by Papakatsu?
Yeah, so the crazy thing is like I actually have really bad anxiety, and like since I was a kid, like I've had times where I was so anxious I almost felt like I was gonna faint, right? But then when I came to Japan, you know, I kind of got addicted to the drinking culture here, and like that's how a lot of like shy people come out of their shell. But yeah, definitely like I had issues with substance abuse, like mainly just alcohol. But it's a struggle every day, like just before you came, I was just like really anxious about cleaning and, you know, making the house. You know, I was already, even though today I have no appointments, even though like we're really good friends, I was like really anxious about that. But whenever I'm late, I feel like I kind of hate myself, you know, because like I have ADHD and I'm late to some of my appointments. And another dark thing about this is like one of my friendships ended, you know, with one of my friends because like I was doing this and I was always like drunk and late, and like I was canceling on her, and she cut me. Like we still talk sometimes, but like she kind of like cut me out of her life. And that's probably like the darkest like mental health thing that I suffered from, but like I learned from it, and like I'm trying to be better about just like, you know, like if I have just saying no to clients before meeting friends. But yeah, it's really easy to just get locked in, and yeah. I feel like if you love drinking, you can just go from one kind of hop, you know, from one appointment to another, and then like it's all a blur, and then you have all this money, but then like yeah, it can really fuck with your mental health, because then yeah, I'm lucky I haven't had money issues. Like I have bought a lot of dumb stuff, and I don't know, like but like I feel like I'm learning from all my mistakes, and I have this apartment now and I'm hosting friends, so yeah, gonna keep doing it, gonna keep learning.
I guess that's all for now. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comment section, and Amy can answer, probably. Yeah.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.